Kia ora, welcome back to part 2 of my response to Dear Deirdre. So we talked in the last episode about how the reader's letter really gave some strong indications of retroactive jealousy. And I came back for part 2 to comment on the comments, because it was on their website, which is a forum, so people can make comments, and you can make comments. So if you follow the link and go on there, you have to sign up and then you can make comments, which would be really good, because my worry is, and one of the reasons I'm responded so quickly and strongly to this video, is that the comments were very judgmental, and the reply from Deirdre wasn't very particularly helpful. It wasn't terrible. There are worse comments. I've seen worse comments on similar things. But somebody with retroactive jealousy, that might be the first thing that they see about retroactive jealousy, and then they just come away feeling that they're a bad person, and that there's no hope. I think that's terrible, So I'm going to comment on the comments. I've got the page open now, so it's going to be a particularly shaky camera as I peer across. They don't seem to come up in any particular order, so I'll just read them as they come, and then I have to refresh it to get more come up on the page. So I'm just going to start where it starts on the page. Okay. So first of all, Mr. R. Don't tell him anything other than get over yourself, but he's clearly a very jealous person and always will be. This will always be an issue in your relationship. Get rid of him and stop letting him make you feel guilty, as you've done nothing wrong! ! I agree, Mr. R, that this person has done nothing wrong. I think that's a very sound point. A jealous person and always will be. Well, not if he gets help. Especially this is a treatable condition, and this is what we want. Is we want people to know that they can get help and things can change. So it's not necessarily always will be. If he doesn't get help, then it will remain the same. So that's kind of certainly true. So nobody's put any likes or dislikes on that comment. The next comment is from Chris Granger. Katie Price, if he doesn't like seeing you have sex with other men, tell him not to read any newspapers. Don't look at internet or television, and move to live in Peru. Now, I've read that several times and I don't really understand what Chris Granger means. So maybe, Chris, if you respond to this, say a little bit more about what you mean. No likes or dislikes on that one either. So I'm just going to press the button to get more comments. Okay, P.S. Thorne, get a threesome going. He's probably just jealous that he couldn't join in. No, that would probably make it worse. So a comment from someone called Mark Lindsay Early. I wonder who that is. Women suffer from retroactive jealousy as commonly as men. That's a really important point, and I think this is the thing that people overlook again and again. It's a complex and much misunderstood condition which makes life hell for both partners. Very few sufferers are aware that this is a condition, and it's much more common than people realise. Sadly, most suffer in silence, and the relationship inevitably breaks down. So there's 3 likes on that, although technically there's 2 because I liked it. I don't know, maybe it's confusing. It does funny things with the likes when you click on it. So I think, 3 or 4 likes on that. Hadley Amaru has commented. Hadley is our lead counsellor who specialises in treating people with retroactive jealousies as well. The maladaptive pattern of intrusive thoughts and cognitive compulsions are all characteristic of RJOCD, so that's Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. Deirdre's advice is way off and would achieve nothing than cause harm. So yes, retroactive jealousy is a form of obsessive compulsive disorder, a complex form of obsessive compulsive disorder, and it's very similar to intrusive thoughts. Okay, which is a big subject. We've done some videos on. I'm going to do some videos on intrusive thoughts in a more general form, I think, because that's a very useful thing to talk about. So another one from this Mark Lindsay Early guy. God, I like this guy. He talks so much sense. This is a condition called retroactive jealousy. It's a form of obsessive compulsive disorder and can be treated. Deirdre's advice was unhelpful in this case, and that's got 6 likes on it, although 5 if you don't count mine. Wayne Templar, why did you have to go and tell him all about your sexual past? I don't think he's going to be able to get over the fact that you've been with so many men. It's obvious he was looking for a nice girl, perhaps one with only a single-digit count in previous lovers, and sadly, that isn't you. Okay. Well, some of that I would agree with. It's not always a good idea. It's probably never a good idea to tell your partner in detail about your sexual past. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think Wayne is buying into this. I think he's commenting maybe on kind of some of the common beliefs. So, the thing he's put "nice girl" in inverted commas. So obviously, society is prejudiced against particularly women who have lots of sex, not so much against men who have lots of sex. And clearly, there's nothing unnice about the woman that wrote to Deirdre, but I think Wayne is kind of making some social comment there, really. Okay, but to expand a bit further on that, retroactive jealousy, I have come across, several people with retroactive jealousy whose partners were virgins when they got together, and they still have retroactive jealousy, and they get hung up on things like the fact that their partner snogged somebody in their high school prom. So actually, it's not about numbers, or it's not about people's pasts. It's an obsessive compulsive condition. We think, or sufferers think it's about that, but actually it's not. And actually it's believed to be to do with brain functioning. So I'm clicking for more comments. CH. So CH begins with the word "or," which is a funny way to start a comment. So I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure if that's she's kind of following on with Deirdre's last words, maybe. But I'll read it as it is. "Or saying that might increase his anxiety and backfire on her." ! I would suggest a real heart-to-heart away from the home. Talk about how what has happened in your past has shaped you and made you realise what makes a great relationship. Well, that's all true. That's good. And that's with him. The good relationship is with him. But do also say that it is bring big you down that he can't move on, and explain that he may need to seek help for it. So I think what she means is explain that it's bringing you down. Tell the partner that it's bringing you down. Because he can't move on, and explain that he may need to seek help for his insecurities if she isn't able to help him during their conversations. Well, with retroactive jealousy, you can never help your partner during conversations. That's one of the things about it, and some of the other videos talk about that. But I think I like what CH has said about insecurities. Insecurity is a big part of it, and I like what CH has said about getting help. But you have to get the right help. Not even a lot of counsellors can make it worse. You have to work with a clinician that understands this stuff, or get support from someone that's been there. Otherwise it can actually make it worse. So forlorn, that's 2 words, F-O-R and then L-O-R-N, that's a good name. If you're loyal to him, then it shouldn't really matter how many times you've been drilled before. I'm guessing this is your longest relationship, and it sounds as though this is it for you. Make sure he knows that, but ultimately it might be curtains if he can't get past how many people have been in your beef curtains. So that's kind of vocabulary that you kind of expect on a Sun forum, really, there, and I guess that's kind of a pun on curtains and beef curtains. Not sure what I make of that comment, really. Sally Monday, he is the typical self-indulgent male. Leave now, because this will never go away. But it won't go away unless he gets help. So that's true. I always say in an abusive relationship, leave. There's no indication in his letter that it's abusive in any other way. Okay, so I would say, I would say to partners, if you're with somebody with retroactive jealousy, if they don't work on it and they don't get better, and it carries on distressing you, then leave. Yeah, I would say that. I think there's a harshness to this comment, though. Interestingly, it's got 4 likes and 4 dislikes. I haven't pressed any likes or dislikes. I've liked Hadley's comment. I haven't liked any others. Sarah Jarvis, he needs to get a grip and grown up. He sounds very insecure. I think she means get a grip rather than and grow up. He needs to get a grip and grow up, I think. He sounds very insecure. So yeah, insecurity. Insecurity is believed to be a core factor in retroactive jealousy. Bobby Ball, start swinging together. It's not as if it will be difficult for you. That's the worst thing you could do. Sally Monday again, back to the incel forum for you. So I think Sally's been quite harsh here, I think she's also hit on something, because there is, I believe, some parallels between the psychological makeup of incels and people with retroactive jealousy, but it's quite nuanced, and I've actually done a video on this, and I'll put a link to it below. So, I mean, generally speaking, incels, don't come across as very nice people. And there have been a couple of mass murders from people from the incel movement. But the incel movement is probably populated by a lot of people with mild mental health problems, and with and people on the autistic spectrum and various forms of neurodiversity who have communication difficulties, therefore find it difficult to find a partner. And sadly, rather than being helped, they become very embittered and make the women bad. And so basically the incel kind of philosophy is that women are bad. There are some parallels and some similarities with retroactive jealousy, but they're certainly not universal. Most people with retroactive jealousy, and bear in mind as well, half of the people with retroactive jealousy are female. Okay, and incels, generally speaking, are men. The majority, there are some female incels actually, but the majority are men. So Northern Lights has given the last comment, incel, but sorry, I said that in the wrong tone of voice, because there's 3 laughing face emoticons. And no likes on that comment. 4 likes on the Sunny Monday comment. And there was a comment coming in. Somebody was actually typing as I logged on. So let's see if I can get that latest. I'm clicking on latest and nothing is happening. Okay, so thank you for all those people that have commented. I like some of your comments more than others. I think some are more insightful, some are less insightful, some are compassionate, some are less compassionate. But I hope this video has been helpful. And I'll put a link down below to another video of mine, which is a bit more about what retroactive jealousy is. I just want to kind of add a footnote here as well, that obsessive jealousy can also be part of a domestic violence pattern, okay? But the majority of people that come to me for help with domestic violence or seek help with it, that they don't fall into that pattern. They're generally kind of quite self-aware people who realise that there's something wrong with what they're thinking and feeling and are seeking help from it. I think what happens is there are people also with retroactive jealousy that, rather than recognising it's a problem within themselves, see that it's a problem within their partner. Okay, that's something we can talk about more. I think I probably will do a follow-up video on that. So hopefully this is helpful. Really would love to hear your comments. I'm having a thing at the moment where people don't watch the video. They look at the title, make completely wrong assumptions, and then comment on those wrong assumptions. And it's driving me absolutely scatty. Okay, so if anyone puts any comments on there and I think they haven't watched the video, I'll be asking them testing questions to find out whether they've actually watched it. And if they haven't, I shall send them home to watch the video. But thank you. You've obviously watched the video because you're here at the end. And yes, please comment. Please spread the word as well, because we want the current bun to hopefully, respond a bit more helpfully to this kind of thing if it comes up in future. So thank you very much, Rangi Margie.